Test 1 2. Test 1 2 test. Let me know how my levels are in the comments. I've been having some technical difficulties all day, but we're gonna roll with it. Why? Because it's Q4 2021. It's gonna be a glorious quarter. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am Creole, one half of Untwisting the Game Crypto, where we discuss all things Bitcoin, Polkadot, and Cardano. Here on this channel, we teach you how to understand the crypto market, because the market is driven by the market makers, the pioneers of the industry, not the banks, not the retail, not governments, but the market makers. And we'll help decipher that information for you. And as always, on Sunday evenings, you are tuned into the Bitcoin Weekly Close, where we watch Bitcoin's weekly candle close. We're looking very bullish right now. Look at that fat green candle for the week. And I'll also review with you the top 10 coins by market cap, provide some news for each. And up on the agenda today, it's going to be jam-packed. After we discuss the top 10 coins by market cap, a lot of news have been flowing in the past week. Actually, the past 2 or 3 weeks. I'm sorry I haven't been with you in quite some time, so a lot of this news will be longer than this past week. But let's talk about China. I'll discuss the initial outcome of China's most recent crypto ban, because believe it or not, the Chinese are still buying Bitcoin despite the Chinese ban. Okay, 145 Bitcoin nodes are still running in China there right now. Okay, after that, I'll have some worldwide CBDC updates. We'll review, actually it was released a couple days ago. The Bank of International Settlement released a September executive summary. It's jam-packed with some good information in there, and you have to read between the lines. So I'll go over that with you. I'll also provide updates of the increasing role of the private sector in the development and rollout of CBDCs. This includes PayPal, Amazon, Visa, new news out there. They're unveiling plans for to become interoperable with CBDCs. So we'll recover that. And also, finally, on the topic of CBDCs, I want to start showcasing this upcoming battle between central banks and governments. Yes, it's coming, and it's already starting, because you have to remember, a central bank provides financial and banking services for its country's government, okay? They're really not the same entity. And there's going to be a battle emerging between governments, central banks, and now I'm going to show you a battle that's emerging between commercial banks and central banks. It's going to get ugly. And of course, always, I end the show with the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. She is a repeat offender. Nice. We have 20 minutes until the Bitcoin weekly close. Will we close above 48,000? Let's take a look. I think so. Historically, this October after the halving is mega bullish for Bitcoin in the cryptocurrency industry. It's going to melt some faces. just gonna jam out here. Let me go to the chat. Says my audio is good. Thank you. I had to rig this segment up. So thank you for joining me. Click that like button, and we're gonna jam out for a little bit. In between songs, I'm gonna update you with some information and crypto news across the nation and the world.
Unless started like this, son, rolling with this one and that one, pulling out gas for fun. But it was just a dream for the team who was a fiend. Started smoking rules at 16 and running up big gates and doing hits by high stakes, making my way off fire escapes. No question, I was speed for cracks and weed. The combination made my eyes bleed. No question, I would blow off and try to get the dough off. Sticking up right boys on board. My life got no better. Same damn low sweater. Times is rough and tough like leather. Figured out I went the wrong route, so I got with a sick tight click and went all out. Yeah. Catching keys from broad seas, rolling in MPVs every week. We made 40 G's. Yo, are
we gonna close above 48,000? Does it matter? I don't think so, because we know where crypto is going, right? These charts don't matter. Buy and hold. The SEC, always in the news in the crypto world. SEC pushes back deadlines on 4 major Bitcoin ETF applications to late 2021. They are among at least a dozen outstanding Bitcoin ETF applications on the SEC's desk, filed by various high-profile companies. Will America get its act together? Will it be too late? And in contrast, Canada gets its first multi-crypto ETF pegged to both Bitcoin and Ethereum this past week. The Canadian exchange-traded funds ETF provider Evolve Funds Group has launched the country's first multi-crypto ETF on the Toronto Stock Exchange. Get it together, America. Crypto rules everything around me. This past week, the U.S. Fed has announced they have no intention on banning stablecoins and cryptocurrencies. Wow. I wonder what channel was telling you that this whole year, right? Of course, they're not going to ban it. During a testimony before the House Financial Services Committee Thursday, Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said that while a central bank digital currency could potentially replace stablecoins, he does not intend on banning the digital token stablecoins. Powell explained Thursday, currently, stablecoins play a role that a central bank digital currency could take on if approved, and he says it is, quote, fairly widely accepted that a central bank digital currency could perform many of the same functions, he said. The digital tokens still need to be regulated, Powell stressed. He says, quote, I have no intention to ban them, but stable coins are like money market funds. They're like bank deposits, but they are to some extent outside the regulatory perimeter, and it's appropriate that they be regulated, Powell said Thursday. America. I got you slipping up. I'm living up. Police be tripping. But hey, good luck regulating something you don't understand. I gotta carry him. Yeah, I'ma go into this. Yeah, this is gorilla. Yeah, I'ma go get the bag. Yeah, or I'ma get the bag. Yeah, I'm so cold like yeah. I'm so dull like yeah. We gon' blow like yeah. Also in the news of regulations in America, the CFTC imposed a $1.25 million penalty against Kraken for offering illegal off-exchange digital asset trading and failing to register. They said, quote, this action is part of the CFTC's broader effort to protect U.S. customers. Why, thank you, CFTC. I needed protection over Kraken. Thank you. I really appreciate that. But, Michelle and I were talking. What a slap on the wrist, right? $1.25 million. I'm sure many of us in this chat could pay that fine, right? That's nothing to Kraken. What a joke. Fourteen minutes until the weekly candle closes. We are looking strong and healthy here. Thank you for joining and welcome. You are tuned into Untwisting the Game Crypto. I'm one half the channel. Michelle comes at you every other day with new videos, and she comes live on Fridays with her Crypto Lounge. She's been talking heavy on the NTF scene and also the metaverse. So definitely click the like, subscribe to the channel, because we have a lot of information we're going to be administering to our subscribers in the near future. All right, 13 minutes. 13 minutes until the weekly candle closes. Let's talk about some hacks and bugs the past week, right? Coinbase in the news. Hackers robbed thousands of Coinbase customers using the multi-factor authentication flaw. You know, we say this a lot, especially running up to this Q4 mega bull run we're about to see. Start moving the majority of your coins off of these exchanges, especially these centralized exchanges. Coinbase is the world's second largest cryptocurrency exchange with approximately 68 million users from over 100 countries. Now, to conduct the attack, Coinbase says the attackers needed to know the customer's email address, password, phone number associated with the account, and have access to the victim's emails. And there was a vulnerability that existed in the SMS account recovery process. That's also why we say if you're signing up to these exchanges, don't offer your cell phone number. SIM swap, errors can happen, hacks can happen. It's best to use, if you're going to use a multi-factor authentication, use a Google multi-factor authentication. Compound Finance in the news. They suffered a token distribution bug after introducing a passing recent governance vote that addressed rewards distribution. Oh, wow. That bug cost them around $80 million US. If you want to learn more about what happened, Michelle talked about that in her live last Friday. Jack Mallers is actually on fire, right? The adoption of Bitcoin's Lightning Network continues to surge. A report from Glassnode, a cryptocurrency data analytics service, shows that the use and adoption of Bitcoin's Lightning Network has dramatically increased the last year. Perhaps the two most important statistics when looking at the growth of the Lightning Network are the number of Lightning nodes and the number of Lightning channels running on the network. The increase in these numbers allows for more capacity on the network. Now, since this time last year, the number of nodes running the Lightning Network has increased about 105%. Big numbers, big numbers. Cool Valley, Missouri in the news. Wait, let me let this beat drop because I like this song. All right, back to Cool Valley, Missouri. The mayor of Cool Valley, Missouri, a small town of about 1,500 people in a suburb of St. Louis County area, announced he will be giving 1,000 US dollars in Bitcoin to each resident. Jason Stewart's plan to dole out Bitcoin to the people of Cool Valley is already fully funded. He explains the plan is being paid for by private donors with the aim of spreading adoption and educating users. Stewart believes Bitcoin education holds the key to growing the prosperity, well-being, and sustainability of his town. What a forward-thinking man, right? Right? And we're going to see more politicians jump on this bandwagon. But he says, quote, a lot of it is about fixing the wrongs of the past financial system. In the past, we didn't have access to this amazing technology that we have today when it comes to our financial system and storing our value. There's another major city in the news this past week, Miami, right? Miamicoin has made the city $7 million so far in the first month. $7 million in the first month, right? And I'm going to go off on a tangent here, but go listen to Andreas Antonopoulos. He kind of speaks to this. In the future, there's going to be so many microeconomies, right? There's going to be a Miami coin. There's going to be a New York coin. There's going to be a coin that you pay lunch to your children, right? Your child is going to have a coin. Your grandchildren are going to have their own ecosystem in coins. Schools, universities are going to have their own cryptocurrencies. Okay, I just went off on a tangent, but back to this news in Miami, okay? Listen to this. This is really interesting. I think this is kind of rubbing Bitcoin maxis the wrong way, but listen to this. It's a potential game changer for revenue collection for cities. The lofty idea is the byproduct of a cooperation with a company by the name of City Coins. It's a non-profit and open source protocol that allows people to hold and trade cryptocurrencies representing a stake in a municipality. Now, by running the software on their personal computers, City Coin users mint new tokens and earn a percentage of that cryptocurrency that they create. A computer program automatically allocates 30% of the currency to a select city, while the users get the other 70%. While the program is still in its infancy, Suarez, the mayor of Miami, estimates the effort could generate as much as $60 million for Miami over the next year, and ultimately revolutionize how cities fund programs that address poverty and other social issues. He says, quote, and this is how he's going to get away with this: when you think about the possibility of being able to run a government without citizens having to pay taxes, that's incredible. Why are we paying taxes when we can use a municipality cryptocurrency and provide revenue for cities? Think about that. Things are about to change. We've got about 5 minutes until the Bitcoin weekly candle closes. Let me touch on a little bit of world news in the crypto space. I've got a couple minutes here. Europe becomes the world's largest crypto economy thanks to DeFi, according to a recent Chainalysis report. Central, Northern, and Western Europe have become the biggest crypto economy in the world. Over the last year, the region has received over $1 trillion worth of cryptocurrency in DeFi. That's about 25% of all global activity in the crypto space when it comes to DeFi. Iran in the news this week too. Iranian Bitcoin miners have been given the green light to spin up their rigs back online again, right? Iran International reported, since the beginning of the summer, mining operations had been at a halt over concerns that the country's power grid wouldn't be able to handle the extreme heat months. Only licensed farms are allowed to come back online. And what's funny, in related news, there was the Tehran Stock Exchange CEO. He resigned following the discovery of him running Bitcoin miners in the basement during the ban. So, I mean, even if these countries ban crypto mining and cryptocurrencies, they're still going to do it because that's where the money is. We've got 3 minutes into the Bitcoin weekly candle closes. It appears we're going to close above 48,000. Historically, the month of October has been very bullish in these 4-year cycles for Bitcoin. So buckle up. And each cycle that happens, it continues to melt our faces and surpass our wildest dreams. So it'll be interesting to see where we end up at the end of the month.
Yes, sir. Let's do it. Yes, sir. Yo, on and my nuts I'm palming. Take 2 of these and call me in the morning. You should see the way the chain harness the charming. Fly 'em like a bird, like Nelly Furtado. Shit, pop your bottles, toes to scream cheers. Get your 2-step, cause it's the record of the year. Nigga that brought you ice creams, 2 for a pair. Officially announcing this is warfare. Cause back in the day, my cloud was gray. And it seemed like my angels couldn't blow them away. But then I stole my first verse and copped an NSX. But I was still riding in them thin ass jets. And now, made my vision so clear out the window of the lair. And I'm talking on my stelly, all the shit that you should hear. Listen clearly now. Hello? Can you hear me now? Can I have it like that? Can I have it?
NFTs are still shining right now, right? And we called this NFTs. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. Are we in a bubble? Maybe. But in the news this week, Usain Bolt partners with NFT platform Autograph. I'm sorry, let me turn this song up.
Can I have it like that? So drop your purse and grab your hips and act like you're trying to get this money right quick. So can I have it like that? Can I have it like that? On and the temperature's
Also, the Sims creator is releasing an NFT game that plays on your subconscious. Video game designer Will Wright is legendary in the space for designing such classics as SimCity and The Sims with Studio Maxis. For his next game, Wright's first in more than a decade, he's embracing blockchain technology with an experience centered around ETFs. It's really interesting what he's doing. It's going to be self-discovery aided too. Go look that up. It's really interesting. Also in NFT news, this past Friday, another historic moment for non-fungible tokens. Christies auctioned off a complete set of Curio cards for 393 ETH. That's about 1.3 million. Big boy money, right? Also in the news, Tik Tok launches first creator-led NFT collection inspired by the creativity and innovation of TikTok creator community. They said, we're exploring the world of NFTs as a new creator empowerment tool. All right, and they announced their first ever NFT collection, TikTok Top Moments, designed by some of our community-defining creators and inspired by trending voices they created. The featured creators are going to include Lil Nas X, Rudy Willingham, Bella Porch, Curtis Roach, Brittany Broski, FN Mecca, Jess Marisante, and Gary V. Okay, all renowned in their creative cultural impact, right? And what's funny, they're going to be partnering with prominent NFT creators, including coin artists, XOR. Michelle talks about this next company a lot. Artifact, RTFKT. Grimes is involved as well, so it's going to be an explosion there. And we have closed the Bitcoin weekly candle. Let's see where we ended up here. We have closed at 48,200. Very bullish week. Fat green candle. Reversal to the upside, right? Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for joining. It looks like we have 11 concurrent viewers right now. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I'm Creole, one half of Untwisting the Game Crypto, where we discuss all things Bitcoin, Polkadot, and Cardano, okay? And you're tuned in today to the Bitcoin Weekly Close, where we watch the Bitcoin Weekly Close. We'll review the top 10 coins by market cap, and then I'm going to provide to you the most important news of the week. I read news all the time about crypto, and I shift through it for you so you can stay abreast and keep in mind the long-term play in the cryptocurrency industry, right? So let's take a look and see what's going on in the top 10 coins by market cap here. I am on CoinGecko.com. Right now, the total market capitalization for all of crypto is $2.2 trillion with a 24-hour trading volume of 118 billion. Bitcoin market cap dominance still above 40% here. So let's and I do this every week with you, so I want you to keep all of this in perspective, okay? Let's take the entire crypto market cap and compare it to the legacy financial system, right? Let's look at Apple. Apple closed this week at 2.36 trillion. Google closed at 1.8 trillion. Amazon 1.66 trillion. Facebook closed at 967 billion. Tesla at 767 billion. Square coming in at 110 billion. Twitter at 50 billion. MicroStrategy closed at 6 billion. Now let's compare what's happening on with the banks in the legacy system, okay? JP Morgan Chase closed at 500 billion. Bank of America closed at 362 billion. Wells Fargo closed at 193 billion. Citigroup at 144 billion, and then Goldman Sachs coming in at last at 128 billion. So why am I giving you this information? Bitcoin total market cap $908 billion this week, the number one cryptocurrency in the world. So when people tell you cryptocurrencies have no intrinsic value, stop them in their tracks and say, no, the market is telling you something different, right? The market is telling you that Bitcoin is worth more or has more intrinsic value than all of the banks, all of the major banks, right? And we're just getting started here. Okay, Bitcoin coming in at number one. They have been in the news. I discussed this a little bit earlier. SEC extends time for reviewing the 4 Bitcoin ETF proposals by the end of 2021. We'll see if they make that deadline. But the good news here is the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission Chairman Gary Gensler said, and I believe he said this Wednesday at a speech he did, I may have to pull it up, but he is open to exchange-traded funds or ETFs for Bitcoin futures. So it's coming. It's imminent. We just don't know exactly when. We'll see if the SEC grows a pair, right, and makes a decision on anything. Also in the Bitcoin news this week, El Salvador becomes the first country to mine Bitcoin using volcanoes. Also, Kraken unveils security vulnerabilities in a large number of U.S. Bitcoin ATMs. Definitely go and read that story. If you're using Bitcoin ATMs, I suggest just don't do it. Not right now, right? Okay, Ethereum, the smart contract platform, coming in at number 2. Closed around $3,432 this week. Market cap coming in at $404 billion, right? That's a hefty number. Again, the market is telling you where they believe the intrinsic value is right now. Ethereum in the news, Vitalik in the news. He has proposed an ERC 4337 proposal to implement abstraction without consensus layer protocol changes. Okay, I won't get into the weeds, but the complexity of setting up an Ethereum wallet is set to reduce significantly by implementing this proposal. Without modifying the logic of Ethereum's consensus layer, ERC 4337 bundles transactions, and Buterin expects this to open up next level creativity in wallet design. Also Ethereum in the news, Ethereum devs, they have set a date for the Altair upgrade ahead of the Ethereum 2.1 upgrade here. Altair, which is described as the first mainnet upgrade to the Beacon chain, is scheduled to take place around October 27th, according to Ethereum Foundation researcher Danny Ryan. October 27th. Let's write that down, okay? Because Ethereum maxis have been giving Cardano heads quite the grief the past couple of years about meeting deadlines. We met our smart contract deadline, so will you meet this deadline? We'll see. Okay, coming in at number 3 is Cardano ADA. Closed around $200. Jeez. Shh. Oh my gosh. If Cardano was at 200, I don't know what I would do. Right. Okay, but Cardano at $2.26, market cap at $72.5 billion. Cardano just eating up the news this past week. They had their summit the weekend before. A lot of bullish news coming out of that, but the Cardano ecosystem is on an expansion rampage and is showing no signs of stopping. And I'm just going to mention a couple here because I don't have that much time with you. But Emergo, okay, which is Cardano's commercial arm, tweeted earlier this week that it will be investing $100 million into Cardano's ecosystem to boost development activities in key areas, especially DeFi and NFTs, along with blockchain education. Bullish, okay? Another partnership between decentralized finance platform MELD, MELD, and Tingo Network. Listen to this. Tingo Network is Nigeria's largest mobile network, okay? It's going to lead to the launch of a new gold-backed stablecoin on top of the Cardano network. As part of this partnership, Tingo's 9 million users will gain access to MELD's crypto services through their phones. Cardano is playing chess, okay? More Cardano news. Cardano-backed project COTI has seen a significant price increase of the token COTI, I believe over 100% this past week, and especially the last 30 days ahead of the rollout of a new Visa card after it teamed up with a popular fintech firm Simplex. COTI is launching a new service set to facilitate the bridge between fiat currencies and digital assets, allowing the use to pay for goods and services. Bullish, okay? The Cardano Summit, right? Saw a lot of exciting news and new partnerships. Now, at the Cardano Summit last weekend, Charles Hoskinson, the founder of the Cardano blockchain developer Input Output Hong Kong, announced a slew of partnerships with well-known brands. But among them, Hoskinson announced that after 9 months of deliberations, IOHK has closed a deal with US-based TV and wireless service provider Dish Network, a Fortune 250 company, right? Dish is looking to integrate the Cardano blockchain to reinvent its telecom business, Hoskinson said. Cardano will help Dish provide 8 million digital identities to its customers. Cardano is playing chess. It's not just about DeFi. It's about these digital identities, and it's about working with nation states and onboarding tens of millions of people at once. What other cryptocurrency is doing that? And it drives me crazy, the mainstream media, when they talk about Ethereum and they show Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, XRP, and they talk about Ethereum killers. Nobody is mentioning Cardano. It drives me insane. Will these people just do some basic research? Okay, let me not get too excited here. Okay, coming in at number 4 is USDT Tether, of course, closing at $1, the number 1 stablecoin in the world, closed at 69 billion total market cap, and of course, Tether is just always in the news, right? They're always in trouble with some regulator. But now listen to this. Tether Bitfinex granted partial relief in a class action lawsuit. They finally have some decent news in the news this week. A judge has thrown out about half of the claims in a class action lawsuit alleging that exchanges Bitfinex, Bittrex, and Polynex, stablecoin operator Tether, and others manipulated crypto markets. However, Tether and Bitfinex parent company DigiFinex will face claims for violation of antitrust laws and the commodity exchange. So that's Tether in the news this past week. Binance Coin coming in at number 5, closed around $431, $66 billion market cap. And again, Binance is in the news. They are really wanting to get this IPO going. Binance hired 2 former IRS special agents, including one that helped crack the Silk Road case. This is all a part of a push to improve their reputation with regulators. The hires are part of a larger push to reform the company's reputation. So I really didn't see that coming. I thought Binance was going to be the exchange to really flip their middle finger to all the world's regulators. But hey, you know, at the end of the day, cash rules everything around me. They want to go public. They want to IPO. All right, we're halfway finished. Market cap number 6, Solana, has been in the news. It has closed, kind of regained close to its all-time high, $172.34, with a $51 billion market cap. Good news for Solana. Greyscale adds Solana to its digital large cap fund. The head of legal says the fund group is considering products relating to themes of Layer 1 protocols, gamings, and the metaverse. So good news for Solana. You know, I'm not a Solana hater at all. I really don't hate, well, I do hate a couple coins. I'll talk about that later. Number 7 is XRP, closed at $1.06. Good to see XRP over $1. Market cap coming in at $49 billion. XRP all over the news this past week. Smart contracts on XRP Ledger, they're one step closer to reality as Flare's Canary Network exits observation stage. So Ripple announced this past week $250 million NFT creator fund for XRP Ledger. XRP Ledger is taking on Ethereum with federated sidechains. Ripple's developer arm, RippleX, has long been focused on developing federated sidechains on XRP Ledger. The team is in the news after it shared an engineering preview of the same. The federated sidechains are expected to support the developer community and add smart contract capabilities to the ledger, along with DeFi, interoperability, and NFTs. Good for you, Ripple. You know, you're always one step behind other coins at implementing upgrades and utility, but you're on the right track. In the SEC news here, Ripple's battle with the SEC has taken a new turn after the court refused the motion to compel the agency to reveal employees' crypto transaction history. Judge Sarah Netburn turned down Ripple's motion on the grounds that the company has not shown that individual trading decisions affected the issues in the case. And, you know, I don't know if the Logic Sphere is in the chat, but I got to give you your props. It's no way Ripple's going to win this SEC case, right? And we're already starting to see Ripple kind of take some backpedaling here, because in the news this past week, Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse said he's open to settling landmark XRP case with the SEC under one condition: if the regulator clearly defines the regulatory status of XRP. Brad says, quote, "To the extent we can find a constructive path forward with the SEC, we of course want to find that. There's no scenario through that we're going to settle unless there's absolute clarity about the XRP. Is it on its ongoing basis, right?" Hey, Brad, if you were going to settle, you probably should have settled 7 months ago, right? Dragging this out really hurt the XRP price for sure. And the SEC, we already know they're not going to give any type of clarity anytime soon, because they would have already. They don't even know what they're doing now with cases in 2017, right? Okay, moving on to number 8, Polkadot, climbing up in the ranks, closing at $32.14 with a $33 billion market cap. Polkadot co-founder in the news. He has been making the media runs the past couple of weeks. I would definitely, there's a lot of good Gavin Wood interviews that I've been posting in the Discord under the Polkadot category. Definitely thumb through those. He's getting better and better at explaining what Polkadot is, right? Because Gavin Wood, he's a developer, he's a coder. He's not a Charles Hoskinson that is eloquent in words, but he's getting better at explaining, and he's hitting the media rounds. But Gavin Wood said this week that the parachains for Polkadot are virtually ready to launch on Polkadot, okay? The long-awaited parachain rollout marks the final piece of the core functionality for the project to be delivered, realizing that multi-chain architecture of both Polkadot and its sister network, Kusama, all right? I think, you know, Polkadot still hasn't hit its all-time high, right? It was around $50. We're at 32. There's going to be a lot of buzz and news once these Polkadot, once the Polkadot parachain auctions begin. Why? Because people are going to be locking up their dots for these auctions. That's going to be huge. They're going to be in the news a lot. So definitely expect fireworks coming out of Polkadot. Also in Polkadot news, Altair Network became the 10th Kusama parachain on Kusama by winning the 9th parachain auction on. So according to parachain auction data, the network amassed over $61.7 million worth of Kusama tokens from over 11,200 contributors. Big numbers there, especially for the 10th parachain. On Kusama. So you can only imagine what's going to happen once these Polkadot parachains start to auction. Coming in at number 9 is USDC. USDC coin in the news, $32 billion market cap here. It is the second largest stable coin. And actually, so this is really interesting, and I kind of accidentally found this news. It was really buried in the massive amount of articles the past couple of weeks. But the USD coin comes to AngelList, okay? According to a joint official announcement from Circle and AngelList, the two teams have entered into a partnership. USD coin by Circle becomes the largest instrument of startup funding on AngelList. This is huge. Why? Okay? Because AngelList, with this announcement, allows VC capitalists and angel investors to support AngelList residents with stablecoins by investing them in a USDC-enabled syndicate or fund. So, cryptocurrency, right? We are infiltrating all aspects of society. Money is just the first use case, right? Okay, finally, number 10 is Dogecoin. This is actually the coin that I absolutely hate. And I really don't even like to talk about Dogecoin, so we won't talk about Dogecoin. But we see it slipping. It will be, it'll be falling out of the top 10 fairly soon, right? Because it's a meme coin with no real utility. Why do we know it has no real utility? Because we've read the white paper, right? Because we listened to the co-creators and the creators. And actually, this past week, the Dogecoin co-creator, Billy Marcus, he said a bridge between Doge and Ethereum must be built and embraced by NFT platforms for the meme coin to even survive. They have no utility, right? It's a meme coin. All right. With that, let me just kind of skim through the chat for a little bit. Kind of been not even paying attention to it. Then I'm going to go into the segments here. Up on the agenda today, I'm really going to discuss 3 different topics, right? I'm going to discuss China and its recent crypto ban and why it was totally a joke. Then I'm going to go into worldwide CBDC updates, and I'm going to close with the Bitcoin clown of the week. But with that, let me go to this chat. And I'm going to try to catch up. Again, I don't want to spend too much time on it. I'll come back at the end. Harry Lime, some people are suggesting that a Bitcoin ETF will lead to price suppression by Wall Street like they did with gold. Is that possible? I mean, that's a theory. I've read about that theory too. But for me, once we have a Bitcoin ETF, it allows legitimacy of the entire cryptocurrency space, or at least for Bitcoin. And once we get that legitimacy, at least with American investors, American legacy investors, I believe the coin is going to pump. Because you have to remember, in this game right now, Wall Street is not, they're not the market makers, right? They're going to try to be, but the only way you can be is to buy the actual coin Bitcoin, not these ETFs. So I would like to separate the Bitcoin ETF from the Bitcoin asset itself when we're thinking about that. Coolin, what's up, man? He says, yo, Dr. Crypto, looks like this weekly close should produce a green dot on the market cipher. That's good news. And again, if you join the Discord, Dr. Crypto is very active there. He provides Bitcoin trading alerts, and he shares his knowledge. So that's really good. The Pothead BTC, thumbs up, heart. Rocket, Michelle URL LOL. What's up, Michelle? Michelle says, wow, and get your YubiKeys for your crypto accounts. Yes, I highly suggest YubiKeys too. I would really suggest YubiKeys over Google Authentication. Colin Hodler says, I still got to get up on learning Lightning as it pertains to legacy BTC. There are a lot of good books on the Lightning Network and articles on the Lightning Network. And maybe I even create a separate category in the Discord to share some additional information with you. But basically, and I'm going to be very general here, Lightning Network is a second layer solution, all right? So you have Bitcoin, your base layer solution takes anywhere from 1 to 10 minutes to verify and confirm a transaction, right? If I take a handful of Bitcoin, put them on a second layer, okay, and these Lightning networks, they kind of have pockets that kind of communicate with each other. So the way the network works, it knows where all the Bitcoins are in coordination with the base layer, and it's able to create finality on transactions faster on a second layer solution, right? Because the base layer solution does not have to confirm every transaction on the Lightning network. That's what makes it a lot faster. And this is the point of Bitcoin Maxis, right? Because Bitcoin Maxi says, well, technically all these coins could be built, all these altcoins could be built as second layer solutions on top of Bitcoin. Technically they're right? Ethereum could have been a second layer solution on Bitcoin. Cardano could have been a second, third, fourth layer solution on top of Bitcoin. But Bitcoin is a slower beast. As humanity, we have one shot to separate money and government. So we want Bitcoin development to be slower. But right now, Bitcoin is the only global digital monetary network. That's why Bitcoin has already won the global reserve case. All right, I don't want to go on a tangent here. Let me go down, hit a couple more chats here. Dr. Crypto says, green dot on the weekly, game on. Oh, yeah, right? October is about to be some fireworks. Johnny Reed says, what you think of RMRK? I'm not familiar with that. And actually, Johnny, what Michelle and I have discussed is possibly doing a separate episode where we just, like an AMA episode where you have us look at coins that you're looking at and we'll give our opinions on them, right? Because over the past several years, we have analyzed several different coins, and where Michelle and I are right now, there's very few new projects that we're really excited about, but we'll talk about that in another episode. Michelle URL, but crypto newbies don't care about utility. You know, you're right about that, but crypto newbies will begin to care about utility when their coin loses 90% of value, right? And we've all been there. we've all been crypto newbies, and we just chase a shining rock, right? Whatever is shiny, wow, that's cool, I'm gonna buy it and hold it. And it takes losing money in this game to actually be good at picking coins. So everybody goes to that stage for sure. One more chat here, I'm gonna go into the session. Coin Hodler says, Taiwan preparing for war with China. I don't know about that. Actually, haven't been very too political lately, and I probably need to brush up on all that, right? But let me pull up a couple articles here, and we're gonna go into the agenda. And again, you're tuned into Untwisting the Game Crypto. I'm Creole, one half of the channel. Michelle URL also comes live on Fridays. And this is the Bitcoin Weekly Candle Close. Up on the agenda, I'm going to talk about what Crackdown, right? Chinese investors are still buying Bitcoin. I'm going to tell you what you need to know about CBDC updates around the world. I'm going to tie that into the private sector. And then what's very interesting, and I'm thinking about doing a separate segment on this, is that this emergent battle against central banks and governments, it's begun, right? This is the game theory. Altcoins and CBDCs, they're going to be so busy battling each other and battling governments that Bitcoin is going to continue to thrive. That's why Bitcoin is going to be the world global reserve currency, because it's already won. Protocol is perfect for being that. Okay. All right, let's look into this first article I pulled up, and I wanted to show this to you. And if you're new to the space, you're going to learn how to ignore FUD. And China always brings the FUD, okay? This was released September 30th, a couple days ago. What Crackdown Chinese investors still buying? Okay, listen to this. Even after the People's Bank of China declared all crypto transactions illegal, some Chinese crypto holders seem eager to keep buying crypto. According to a Bloomberg report, while the crackdown could keep newcomers from accessing cryptos, those who already hold crypto see an opportunity to buy at lower prices. Stephen, a Shanghai-based investor, told Bloomberg that, quote, "These policies are not new to us, so we view them as a buy signal," unquote. According to the source, Bitcoin can be bought via centralized and over-the-counter exchanges, even as some exchanges begin to shut out users from mainland China. Those who have not weathered crypto crackdowns, however, might not react the same way as more seasoned crypto investors. People new to the crypto might feel scared. Some of them will quit, Stephen said. Although mining and trading cryptos in China is effectively banned, it would be difficult to enforce an outright ban on holding digital assets. Listen to this. Some crypto investors are finding workarounds because of this, such as the digital wallet MetaMask, which is designed to buy and sell NFTs, but can also be used to hold and trade cryptos, right? Okay, I'll leave this link in the description below. More China information here. And I kind of touched on this at the very beginning of this live, but this was released by Bitcoin Magazine September 29th. Despite Chinese ban, 115 Bitcoin nodes are still running. While financial institutions and on-ramps can be banned, the Bitcoin peer-to-peer network is immune. Despite the recent Bitcoin ban in China, the country still has at least 145 Bitcoin nodes online, according to data from BitRoar. While centralized firms such as the Bitcoin BTC exchange Huobi and the e-commerce shop Alibaba are withdrawing Bitcoin-related services from the Asian country, distributed systems like Bitcoin Network itself can stay put. Okay, on September 24th, the People's Bank of China called for a nationwide ban of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies by reposting a memo from September 15th. The statement outlined a federal effort to restrict BTC usage out of economic and financial order concerns, calling prominent financial institutions in the country to help the People's Bank of China prevent Chinese citizens from trading the asset. I'm going to skip down to here. Bitcoin exchange Huobi said in a statement on September 26 that it will gradually retire existing users' accounts in mainland China by December 31st and is no longer opening new accounts for users in that region. E-commerce giant Alibaba also announced similar measures. The Chinese group said it would stop selling Bitcoin mining equipment in all platforms it controls, as well as any other Bitcoin-related products. However, distributed systems aren't as straightforward to shut down as centralized systems. By definition, peer-to-peer networks have more than one data source. Shutting down a P2P system would require shutting down all of its participating peers. Now, this is funny, okay? Whether the Chinese government will seek to shut down the over 145 Bitcoin nodes currently running on their soil is unclear. Per the memo, it appears that the People's Bank of China will be focusing on dismantling on-ramps to BTC rather than the network itself, but closely monitoring and enforcing exchanges, websites, and financial institutions at large to attempt to deal with Bitcoin. All those are centralized. Bitcoin is not centralized. You cannot ban Bitcoin, okay? Moving on. The fact that Bitcoin is a proper PTP network, one with a low cost for spinning up nodes, which enables anyone to run one themselves, ensures the government's banning it won't see a lasting effect on Bitcoin's ability to stay up and running. In that sense, the Chinese ban can be a good thing for Bitcoin as it helps demonstrate all the network's distinctive characteristics, including anti-fragility and censorship resistance. If China can't ban Bitcoin, no other nation in the world will be able to. Okay, and Bitcoin has proven this. But let me just go on, and I'm going to move on to the next article. But listen to this. But Bitcoin also has an answer to that. It's called Tor. The anonymity network allows users and Bitcoin nodes to connect to the internet while obfuscating their actual location. Moving down here, if done correctly, Tor usage in Bitcoin can help Chinese people enjoy true monetary independence from the communist country while leaving no hints they are doing so from the authoritarian government, right? Bitcoin is unstoppable. And once the masses realize that no government will be able to ban Bitcoin, imagine the huge FOMO, right? Imagine the huge FOMO that's going to happen when the United States comes out and says, hey, we have to have Bitcoin on our balance sheet to stay competitive in this worldwide market. And this is America's chance to kind of wash their sins away from being boneheaded in the previous years by taking advantage of China just being completely ignorant about the significance of Bitcoin. All right, let's move on to central bank digital currencies. Let me go to the chat, and then I'm going to jump into this release. Johnny Reed says, it's the Kusama NFT marketplace comparable to Ethereum's OpenSea. And comparable in what way, right? Of course, Ethereum has the first mover advantage, right? More artists are using Ethereum than other chains. But if you say comparable, if I'm an artist and I'm looking at cost and transaction fees, it's no way I'm using Ethereum. No way. And once these artists and these people who are new to cryptocurrency realize that there's cheaper alternatives, faster alternatives, they're going to start migrating to other blockchains. Okay. Coin Hotler says, not just Taiwan, spill the tea. Okay, they're talking about politics there. I don't know anything about that. U.S. will back up Taiwan. Yeah, let's talk about in the Discord. Okay, Coin Hodler says, I was kind of thinking that, but proxy via Australia. Okay, they're talking about more stuff I don't know about. Going on, Chinese warships outside of Alaska in the meantime. Do I need to turn on CNN? I don't know what's going on right now with all that, but I'll catch up. It says good info, Creole. Thank you, I appreciate it. This is why I put the time into gathering all this information, because it's things you need to know. Because you got to be one step ahead of the market, and we're so early, right? Okay, let's go into the next segment here, central bank digital currencies. If you follow this channel and you listen to me, especially when I go live on Sundays, I'll always have a segment on CBDCs, because this is the next battle for Bitcoin, right? This is the final boss, governments and central banks. So we got to know what they're doing right now so we can invest and act appropriately. Central bank digital currencies executive summary. This was released by the Bank of International Settlements. And this was released a couple days ago, guys, September 2021. Okay, it's 6 pages. I couldn't highlight, but let me see. I wanted to bring up something that I read that just kind of floored me. Okay, it's in this section here. It says, again, this is a group of 7 or 8 banks that released this little executive summary. And if we go back up to the top, okay, the Bank of Canada was a part of this, the European Central Bank, Bank of Japan, the Sveriges Riksbank, Swiss National Bank, Bank of England, and the Board of Governors Federal Reserve System. That's us, the U.S., okay? But listen to this. Let me find it, because this is really mind-boggling. Okay, to help maintain safety and stability, a CBDC would need careful design and implementation, allowing time for the existing financial system to adjust and flexibility to use safeguards. Okay, there's a couple of sections I wanted to read to you, okay, just so you can see something I'm going to talk about. I'm going to tie it all in at the end of the show before I go into the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. Okay, CBDCs would have implications for financial intermediation. It would need careful design and implementation. But our analysis suggests the impacts of bank disintermediation and lending could be manageable for the banking sector. A significant shift from bank deposits into CBDCs, or listen to this, or even into certain new forms of privately issued digital money, okay? Who knows what that could be? That's open. I have a couple of ideas, okay? Could have implications of lending and intermediation by the bank sector. However, our analysis also suggests that these impacts would likely be limited for many plausible levels of CBDC take-up. If the system had the time and flexibility to adjust, this initial assessment is subject to uncertainties over the future structure of the financial system, the design of a CBDC and its underlying system, the size and scale of user adoption of CBDC, and differences between jurisdictions. Okay, let's move on. This is what I wanted to read to you here. However, additional risks to financial stability might arise if changes in the structure of the financial system due to the adoption of a CBDC were to be abrupt. Okay, so they're already warning people, hey, this might screw up if we do this quick, but we got to do it quick, right? Listen to this. Impacts would also depend on the extent of the offsetting increase in lending to the real economy by non-financial bank intermediates. Okay, let me read that again to you, and I'm going to explain what this means, okay? Impacts would also depend on the extent of the offsetting increase in lending to the real economy by non-bank financial intermediaries, okay? I'm going to come back to that sentence and I'm going to explain it to you. CBDC and certain new forms of digital money could also increase the latent risk of systemic bank runs. This risk is reduced in the existing system through effective banking regulation, deposit insurance, and resolution frameworks. Okay. What these central banks are telling us is, hey, this could go sideways, right? But we got to act fast. But the impacts would depend on offsetting the increase of lending, right? So right now, central banks don't lend to you or me, right? They don't lend to businesses. Central banks lend money to commercial banks, reserve banks, right? And they're saying, well, you know, with CBDCs, we could actually, instead of lending money to the banks below us, we can actually just lend money to the person themselves, right? We can lend to the real economy by non-bank financial intermediaries. So they're saying, hey, we could do that. That could probably offset some of the chaos that may happen. And then they go on to say, CBDC and certain new forms of digital money could also increase the latent risk of systemic bank runs. They're worried about bank runs, right? Okay, if we give the population a digital currency that we can control, and there's a bank run, right? They can pull out their phone, use their CBDC, and swap it for another currency, right? A digital bank run. If that happens, these central banks are saying it increases the risk of systemic bank runs, right? The latent risk. So we're scared of that. So we're trying to figure out a balance here of how much power we keep and how much power we give to the people. This is what they're thinking about. This is what central banks are thinking about. How can we control the money supply? And if you know anything about cryptocurrency and the ethos of cryptocurrency, you can't control the people's money. So this is why when we talk about game theory on this channel, Bitcoin has already won, right? You can't have a centralized central bank digital currency and it succeed. Because a centralized central bank digital currency is digital fiat. All right, let's move on. All right, a couple more articles. I'm going to tie it in for you. And then we're going to talk about the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. Okay, if you've been following this channel, we've been laying out the path forward for private sectors increasing role in developing and rolling out central bank digital currencies, right? Because governments can't do it on their own, right? Governments can't even keep a website up without crashing. So listen to this. Visa unveils plan for interoperability among central bank digital currencies. On Thursday, Visa announced a plan to create a system that would allow automatic conversion between different central bank digital currencies as well as stablecoins. Visa's announcement gave real-world examples of how this would simplify a life where so many CBDCs and stablecoins exist. Okay? They say, imagine splitting the check with your friends when everyone at the table is using a different type of money. Some using a central bank digital currency like Sweden's e-krona, others preferring to use a private stable coin like USDC. How about sending $500 in USDC to a friend in London and having those funds automatically converted to a digital British pound before they even arrive in her CBDC wallet? So this is the next phase of all of this is interoperability, right? Okay, and then I'm going to explain more, but let me read this to you. Calling it a universal adapter linking businesses, customers, central banks, and blockchain systems, the payments giant is setting up a universal payments channel, a UPC. This will create cross-chain interoperability, allowing customers across multiple networks to conduct financial transactions in real time compatible with different digital wallets. So, and what's funny is they say this down here, but Visa has been working on this since 2018, right? They've been working on this UPC or Universal Payments Channel since 2018, Okay, they say for CBCs to be successful, they must have two essential ingredients: a greater customer experience, good luck, and a widespread merchant acceptance, good luck. It means the ability to make and receive payments regardless of currency channel or form factor, the company said. And on Thursday, Visa uploaded a sample of its code for a UPC smart contract onto Ethereum's Ropstein testnet, outlined the mechanics of UPC in a research paper. There's a link to that, and provided a policy guidance for central banks. Guys, this is about to be a recipe for disaster. It's no way these central banks around the world get on the same page. All of these central bank digital currencies are going to have their own. They're going to have their own security. They're going to have their own code, and none of it's going to be interoperable. Okay, let's move on. I'm going to keep tying this in. Okay, bear with me. PayPal and Visa are among the companies that will help the Bank of England work on a UK digital currency. Again, this was released September 29th. Listen to this, guys and girls. Representatives from Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and Morgan Stanley will participate. UK officials haven't yet decided whether they will launch a central bank digital currency. They will. But British Finance Minister Rishi Sunak previously dubbed a possible Bank of England-backed cryptocurrency called the Bitcoin. The Bank of England and the UK Treasury Department said Wednesday that PayPal, Amazon, and Visa will be among the corporate representatives participating in two advisory groups that are exploring the possible central bank digital currency. PayPal, Amazon, Visa. None of these companies are cryptocurrency companies. Recipe for disaster, right? Let's keep moving on. The Technology Forum, which held its first meeting this month, will help the Bank of England understand the technological challenges of designing, operating, and implementing digital fiat currency. See, they say here, it's digital fiat currency. It's not a cryptocurrency. Among the group's members is Edwin Aoka, PayPal's Chief Technology Officer for Blockchain, Cryptocurrency and Digital Currencies, and David McKeith, Principal Technology Advisor for Amazon Web Services. Okay, Visa's Head of Solution Architecture, Max Malcolm, as well as MasterCard's Vice President of Blockchain and Digital Assets, Patrick O'Donnell, are also part of the Technology Forum. So again, all these companies are on these boards and forums helping to figure out how to make CBDCs interoperable. Good luck, when there's already a system that works perfectly for this, and it's called Bitcoin. And it's going to take them to trial and error, and for these governments and central banks to fall flat on their face to start to realize that. Because I tell you what, if you are in the UK and you have your retirement fund in a CBDC and that joker goes offline or breaks, how angry you think the people are going to be? How disillusioned do you think the people are going to be with governments? They're going to naturally gravitate towards the most decentralized cryptocurrency in the world, which is Bitcoin, that's not controlled by governments. That's the whole point of cryptocurrencies. But it's really funny here how we see these private sectors like Visa, MasterCard, PayPal, and banks. They say, oh, we see the change coming. We have to stay relevant. Let's try to get involved, right? Let's tell central banks how to do this, even though they don't know what they're doing because they passed up on Bitcoin 8 years ago. All right, let's move on. And two more articles, and I'm going to tie this whole ramble together. Central banks see risk in government-backed securities. Let me repeat that. This is from BNN Bloomberg. Central banks see risks in government-backed digital securities. Okay? Digital securities backed by central banks might become a preferred safe haven during a future financial crisis, potentially aggravating runs at commercial lenders. So they're thinking about, okay, these bank runs for digital currencies, what would that look like? But if your coin was decentralized and had a capped supply, you wouldn't have to worry about bank runs. Okay, that's one possible financial stability hazard raised in a series of reports by global central banks, including the U.S. Federal Reserve, Bank of England, European Central Bank, Swiss National Bank, among others. During a crisis, a central bank digital currency could be perceived as a safe haven, according to reports published Thursday by the Bank for International Settlements. That was the report I brought up earlier. They said, evidence from previous systemic bank runs indicate how powerful the impetus of a bank run is, and therefore how the reduced transaction costs of a CBDC could exacerbate bank runs. It's easy to run, have a run on the bank when you don't have to drive to the bank and ask for your money, right? Because it's all digital. So that's what they're concerned of. They're not concerned about it being safe and doing it right the first time. They're concerned about getting caught with their pants down. Okay, a couple more parts of this, and I'm going to move on and tie it all in. The central bank's research also detailed the possible effects on global banking giants, suggested CBDCs could take a major bite out of commercial deposits and jeopardize the industry's funding. Okay, these commercial banks. If CBDCs start giving money to the people, there's no reason for commercial banks. Government-backed digital currencies could lead to higher volatility in deposits and or significant long-term reduction in customer deposits, according to one of the reports. They said, quote, this could, under certain circumstances, affect bank profitability, leading to the overall provision of financial services. Both of the risks could be managed by forcing tight controls on CBDCs, and the document suggested hard limits on transfers or holding on the digital currencies could mitigate such dangers. So they want to put a hard limit on how much CBDCs you can have in your wallet, right? So these central bank digital currencies, or these central bank digital controls, are going to have more control over what you can do with your money, which is the opposite of what Bitcoin is trying to accomplish, right? They're already telling you, okay, we can solve this just by giving people less money. How insane is this? And they're telling this in front of our face. Okay, let's move on to this last sentence here. Pricing safeguards such as uncompetitive interest rates could also be imposed, according to reports. So they're saying, hey, we can make our central bank digital currency, we can safeguard it by just eliminating competitive interest rates. How insane is this? Are people paying attention? Okay, let's put it all together. Let's put it all together here. The past 4 articles I brought up, okay? I stumbled upon this one. This was released on the 30th of September. The Reserve Bank of New Zealand. I don't know how to pronounce that, and I'm not even going to try, okay? But the Reserve Bank consults on the future of money. So, hey, we're scared, right? Really, the people don't even need us. How can we make ourselves important, right? And this is what somebody lays out, and this is absolutely ridiculous. Okay, they say commercial banks, all right, which, again, I told you, central banks lend to commercial banks. Commercial banks gives us credit cards. They give us mortgages. Commercial banks are the DeFi, right? And they get their money from the central banks. They say, quote, commercial banks, the wider cash industry, and I don't know how to pronounce that, but the Reserve Bank of New Zealand need to seize opportunities and innovate to ensure that the cash, money, and ways to pay continue to serve New Zealanders' needs, says Assistant Governor Christian Halbeski, following the release of 2 issue papers today for public consultation. Let's continue, and I'm going to wrap it all together. I'm almost there. We're seeking public input on how we should perform our role as stewards of money and cash, and how we should assess the case for central bank money in a digital form alongside of cash. Okay, so this commercial banker is saying, hey, we got to figure something out. We're trying to define our role in this new digital era, right? Because commercial banks, we represent money and cash to the people. So they go on to say, as steward, we want to ensure that our central bank money remains a stable value anchor for the monetary system and available as a fair and equal way to pay and save. So ensuring that New Zealanders have access to money in forms that suit them and their changing needs, these outcomes means that New Zealanders keeps its monetary sovereignty. So it sounds like what this paragraph is saying is, hey, what if the people don't want to use central bank digital currencies, right? We want to ensure that New Zealanders have monetary sovereignty, so we want to be a part of this new digital transformation in some way, all right? Because we want the distribution of central bank digital currencies to be equal and fair, so all people have a way to pay and save. All right, let me skip down to here. They go on to say, a central bank digital currency would see the features and benefits of cash enjoyed in the digital world, working alongside cash and private money held in commercial bank accounts. So this reserve in New England is saying, hey, we want to be able to provide people more than just central bank digital currencies, right? We want to be able to provide them cash, and we want to be able to provide them their own private money, whatever that may be. So you can't eliminate us. Okay, he goes on to say, it could make for much more efficient and integrated platforms benefiting individuals and businesses, as well as protecting monetary sovereignty, that word, right? However, any decision to issue a central bank digital currency would need to carefully consider operational risks such as cybersecurity and impacts on the financial sector. That's clever, what angle they took there, because they're like, hey, you want your whole government's money in the hands of the CBDCs? You think they're going to keep that secure? Right? Because it's centralized. All that data is going to be in one storage location. You know, a hacker could crack that and have all of New Zealand's money. So this commercial bank is saying, hey, give us a piece of the pie. We can keep it safe too, so there won't be one point of attack, because if the New Zealand central bank gets attacked and a criminal cracks whatever safeguards, then the entire country is screwed. Okay? And then they go on to say, this is interesting. We want people to know that the case for keeping cash, or AKA the case for keeping commercial banks, is well understood and accepted by the Reserve Bank. Cash is here to stay for as long as some of us need it. In November, we will be releasing a third issues paper that will set out the issues facing the cash system and explore high-level options to achieve greater efficiency and resilience. So that was a lot I went over, but there's a lot going on in central bank digital currencies right now, and we're starting to see that central banks and governments, they're going to take their eye off the ball when it comes to fighting against Bitcoin, right? They're going to be fighting with each other. And then they don't even know how all the central bank digital currencies around the world on different platforms are going to interoperate. They're telling us this. And then, the commercial banks are they're realizing that they're in deep right now, right? They're in deep, and they're trying to grasp straws and figure out a way to stay relevant. So this is why I say there's going to be a battle between governments and CBDCs, because here very soon governments are going to realize, hey, why do I need a central bank? Right? Why do I need a central bank when I can create my own blockchain and have my own digital currency, my own Miamicoin, right? and give it to the people. I don't need banks. And banks are starting to realize this, which is very, very interesting and it is going to be quite the S show, right? For sure. Okay, and with that, I'm gonna move into my last segment, and I'm gonna go to the chat for a little bit. But thank you for joining me. This is Creole. I'm one half of Untwisting the Game Crypto. I'm gonna go to the chat and finish the segment or this episode off with the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. She is a repeat offender. But let's go to the chat here. Okay. Johnny Reed says, alike in every other way except for gross fees. I think he was comparing fiat to cryptocurrency or CBDCs. Michelle URL says, if you're in the Discord, please drop the Taiwan news in the World News channel. Yes, thank you, Michelle. I want to know a little bit more about that. Because all of this geopolitics, they're going to play into effect of what's going on. Now, think about it. You're in Taiwan, right? You're a Taiwanese resident. Are you going to accept a central bank digital currency from from China? Right? You're a Chinese businessman. Are you going to really accept a central bank digital currency from Taiwan? Even though I've been doing business with some manufacturer for the past 10 years, it's going to be a complete battle. Okay, Coin Hodler says, what's the BIS relation to the IMF? I've had these two written down for later research along with the FOMC. So the BIS is just a group of bankers. The IMF is a group that kind of get all of these bankers on the same page. The International Monetary Fund. Maybe I'll do a separate video on that for you because it's about to get crazy and it's about to happen quickly, right? Okay, Johnny Reese says CBDC equals total control. Yes, you are correct. He continues to say they will have total control where all the money goes. Thus, it will go to fund all of their draconian agendas. You are right? Because, again, with governments and central banks, we could have, and I'm not political, but I'm just throwing this out there. We could have, Trump 3.0 enter office in 2040, and he says, I don't like the country Iran, right? If we've given a central bank digital currency to any company in Iran, with a click of a button, I'm taking it back. This is the control that they want. And what's scary is that, yes, it may be a good idea now for a government or a central bank to have complete control, but people move on, new politicians get into office, new people get into power, and they have control over this power, and they may use it incorrectly, right? Johnny Reese says, you're probably right, but have you ever pondered that most of the cryptocurrency projects we all know and love could possibly be the central bank coins and have backdoors programmed into them from within? Okay, Johnny, yes, you're right. And I've talked about this before. A lot of these central bank digital currencies are going to use platforms that I've already created, right? Like there's going to be countries in Africa that use the Cardano platform, the Cardano blockchain, right? And Michelle and I strongly believe the US dollar Fed coin will be USDC, right? Which is a privately held stable coin. It's on the Ethereum blockchain, right? So the governments, they're going to feel so left behind that they're going to have to use blockchains that have already been created. Here's the difference, Johnny. When you're talking about a CBDC coin, central bank digital coin, those new CBDCs that are being created by these banks aren't open source. We can't see the code. For the digital yuan, the Chinese digital yuan, we don't know the code to that. We don't know if there's a backdoor or not, right? But at least with Cardano, with at least Ethereum, everything is open source and we can see if there's a backdoor. That's why open source decentralized protocols are going to win out. All right, Coin Holler says, well, that's why we open source. Yep, exactly what I just said. If you're in a country or a government that's using a CBDC that's not open source, you better run away. Run the opposite direction, right? Okay, all right. I'm going to cue this next segment up. It is the Bitcoin Clown of the Week. And the Bitcoin Clown of the Week goes to Miss Christine Lagarde, okay? And actually this was a couple weeks ago, but on September 13th, European Bank President Christine Lagarde appeared on the David Rubenstein show, and she said, and actually the name of the show was Peer-to-Peer Conversations. And she actually said that cryptos are highly speculative assets and suspicious. And then she went on to say cryptos are not real cryptocurrencies. So I actually want to play the clip. Not only will I play the clip, I'm going to play a clip from a YouTube channel called CTO Larson, Larson. Go subscribe to that channel here. Again, that's CTO Larson. And he... Actually, I'm just going to play this clip. If you want to see the visual, go to his channel and press play. I'm just going to play the audio now. But he plays the clip of what Christine Lagarde said. She's the president of the European Central Bank. And then he has one of the most eloquent, amazing responses for it. And I'm just going to press play here.
And in about 1 minute, I'm going to be very angry.
Okay.
I will answer Christine Lagarde. And in about 1 minute, I'm going to be very angry, and I apologize in advance. You've probably already seen this, but let's watch it again and really listen to what she says.
Cryptos are not currencies, full stop. Cryptos are highly speculative assets that claim their fame as currency, possibly, but they're not. They are not. I think we have to distinguish between cryptos that are those highly speculative, suspicious occasionally, and high intensity in terms of energy consumption assets, but they're not a currency.
Not a currency. Christine, SWIFT, which is your international payment system, went live in 1977. At that time it was bleeding edge, a great system. 1977, that was shortly after color TV broadcast became popular in Sweden. It was 8 years after the first moon landing in 1969. Now, in 2021, 44 years later, when I'm sitting here receiving payments for consultancy or for my course, usually people pay with a cryptocurrency, of course. But sometimes someone wants to pay with a bank transfer. And oh my, there is always some issue. Last month, a guy sent the payment twice. Both times it got stuck. I had to call my bank, he called his bank in his country. In the end, we couldn't sort it out. Fortunately, this guy was an expat, so he had another bank in his home country and he could send it from there. From start to finish, it took 2 weeks and a lot of frustration. When someone sends USDT, it takes 2 minutes maximum, usually 30 seconds. From 2 weeks to 2 minutes. How can someone in your position sit there and say that global digital money on the internet is useless? That's as ridiculous as saying that internet and mobile phones are useless. But surely no one said that, right? They did. Our communications minister in Sweden even said so about the internet at the time. Browsing the internet is just a dayfly, she said. I was sitting there baffled. Now it's happening again. Telecom, I was freaking building it. I will never get a mobile phone, most people said. It's too heavy, too expensive, and I don't even like the idea of people being able to reach me when I'm out. Now it's happening again. Cryptocurrencies will never take off. Mining is just too energy inefficient and the Ethereum fees are too high. Well, I received a BUSD payment over BSC and it consumes far less energy than running a bank branch here down the street. And fees were nothing. Already today, Ethereum will move to proof of stake. She's completely off just because something isn't perfect in the first iteration, like when the first mobile phones were heavy and expensive, doesn't mean the technology is bad. No other time in history has a new technology advanced so quickly as cryptocurrencies have. This industry literally changes and improves day by day, hour by hour. No, your criticism has nothing to do with that. People's hesitation to change has nothing to do with if it's useful or not. Most people don't like change. Most people have an instinct to preserve the old. Janet Yellen won't change. Christine Lagarde won't change. They'll carry this opinion with them to the end of their days when they're 101 years old and 5 billion people are using cryptocurrencies just as they are using mobile phones today. They will still say it's bad. No, it's the new generation that will pick this up. Ask your 12-year-olds if NFTs are useful or a scam. They will say it's useful because they played RuneScape when they were 10. Ask any young person in the US if Bitcoin or the Fed money printing is the bigger scam. But at least Bitcoin is a bubble, right? Bubble! Bitcoin crashed 3 times and recovered. Bubbles that pop don't reform in thin air, or do they? Bitcoin is the most appreciating asset of all human history. It's not your everyday thing. It has never happened before, ever. So what are cryptos then? Cryptocurrencies are the competition to fiat currencies. Crypto as an industry is the competition to the entire legacy financial system that was once advanced, now old and slow and hopelessly behind. Crypto is a threat to the power of central banks, and if money becomes global, controlled by no one, crypto is a threat to the power of each country politician. That's why they are so angry. If cryptocurrencies are not currencies, okay, fine. Your call, Christine. But let me tell you what cryptocurrencies are. 1. They are your competition. 2. When I'm sitting here in my office in Stockholm and receiving payments to my business, cryptocurrencies work better as a currency than your currency already today. If you like this video, you're gonna love the Bitcoin rap. Watch it next. Thank you, tack. CTO Larsen out. Hej då.
All right. That was a beautiful response by CTO Larsen. Go follow his page. Go like that video and subscribe. And it only has 9,000 views on it. And he has quite an amazing YouTube channel there. But with that, I'm going to end this. I'm going to play some music. We'll watch some charts. And I'll keep my eyes on the chat if anybody wants to talk to me. But as always, we always continue the conversation in the Discord. Click the solo.me link below. And let's just jam out for a little bit, right? Oh, let me... And again, this is Curio with Untwisting the Game Crypto. Thank you for joining me tonight. I know it was quite a long segment here, almost 2 hours, but if you stay through the whole thing, you are that much smarter than the average man when it comes to CBDCs and cryptocurrencies and Bitcoin. we have dipped down below 48,000. It's still looking strong here. All right, everybody. Everybody have a good night. Have a lovely, productive Monday tomorrow, wherever you are in the world. I appreciate the love. I appreciate you stopping in. We'll be back next week.
Respect my mind or die from less shout. I pray my dick get big as the Eiffel Tower, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours. Goddamn, I got bitches. Goddamn, I got bitches. Goddamn, I got bitches. Wifey, girlfriend, and mistress. All my life I want money and power. Respect my mind or die from less shout. I got 25 lighter on my dresser. Yes, sir, but fire to the ass.
Oh wow, I was about to end the stream, but it's more people trickling in. I'm Creole, one half of Untwisting the Game Crypto. Let's just jam out.
She rolling, I'm holding my scrotum and posing. This voice here is golden, so fuck y'all, I goes in. And all my life I want money and power, respect. my life I want money and power, respect my mind.
Test 1, 2.
I pray my dick get big as the Eiffel Tower, so I can fuck the world for 72 hours. Goddamn.
Hey, thank you for joining. I was actually about to end the stream, but more people are joining. I'll just keep jamming out.
Money and power, respect my mind, no it died from less, y'all. Martin had a dream. Martin had a dream. Kendrick have a dream.
Hello. Thank you for joining. I was about to end the stream, but I see more people are just actually joining. Maybe you're liking the music. I'm just going to keep playing some music. I am Creole, one half of Untwisting the Game Crypto. You just missed the Bitcoin Weekly Close, where I watch the Bitcoin Weekly Close and provide news and updates of all the top 10 coins. But let's just jam out. You must be liking the music.
Hey, she's in love with who I am. Back in high school, I used to bust it to the dance. Now I hit the FBO with duffels in my hands. I did half a Zan, 13 hours till I land. Had me out like a light, like a light, like a light. Slept through the flight, not for the night. 767, man, this shit got double bedroom, man. I still got scores to settle, man. I crept down the block, made a right, yeah. Cut the lights, pay the price, yeah. Niggas think it's sweet, it's on sight, yeah. Nothing nice, baggage in my ice. Jesus Christ, checks over stripes, yeah. That's what I like, that's what we like. I lost my respect, you not a threat. When I shoot my shot, that shit wetty like on Shaq. See the shots that I took, wet like I'm booked, wet like on Lizzie. I be spinning polys,